Okay, here we have a page with some 10 frames on it. There's two 10 frames. I think for the younger grades, I would just use a page with one 10 frame. As they get older and they're using like teen numbers, then maybe expand to two, but for the younger children, one is enough. We use this a lot of different ways. I think the most common is just like figuring out the different ways to make 10, addition and subtraction, missing add-ins, all of those kind of questions can be answered using a 10 frame. We'll be sending you some of these two colored counters. We use them all the time. As you can imagine, it helps you organize your thinking with addition and subtraction because one add-in can be one color and the other one another color, so you can visually see what's happening as you build that number. So for example, I might have 3 filled in and ask the class, how many more do I need to make 10? And by filling in with the other color, I can quickly see what it takes to make 10 when I already have 3. You and I, we see this 5. We don't need to count them anymore. I did not need to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Using the 10 frame organizes these things in such a way that it will help students gain that skill and being able to just look at something and know how many is there. So you can probably already think of many ways to use this, how many ways to make 10, how many ways to make 5. You could be looking for the missing add-in. How many more do I need to make a certain number? They also help when you get to teen numbers because, as you see, you can only fit 10. So now we realize that 13 is a 10 plus some ones. There we go, back to that place value thinking again. So this will really help organize students' thinking around building numbers. Here are some tips, though, I'd like to show you. You notice I keep the reds together and I keep the yellows together. When you start mixing it up, all of a sudden that visualization doesn't work so well. It's hard to just know. You probably have to count the yellows at this point. You're not just going to be able to look at it and see. So having everything organized will help train the minds of your students to be able to just kind of identify how many are here. Without even counting, I can tell you there are 10 yellows, and that's because of how they are placed on these 10 frame squares. So keeping the colors sorted together will help that visualization come to life. The other thing is making sure you go left to right, just like you're reading a book. So a student starts filling in and then they do this. Now they might not quickly be able to see that there are 5. They might have to stop and count. Whereas if they put it all in a line, they might already know if it fills one line, it's going to be 5. They don't have to count. So moving left to right will also help them get that visualization down. So go across like a book and make sure you keep colors together. And you'll be able to find lots of ways to use 10 frames with this. I'd be curious to know all the different ways you use it to instruct addition and subtraction.